Hi, in today's video, I want to talk about market sophistication and how to write your copy to address the sophistication of your market. I know sophistication is a sophisticated word, right? But it gets very simple once you understand the base concepts, and once you understand there are more nuances to a market. And once you get that, once you get to the point of fully understanding that, your copy and your advertising will get to a whole new level. So let's get started. For this particular video, I chose the example of cigars. Why? Because like they've been around forever, and they've obviously been through all the 5 stages of sophistication. By the way, this is a concept that was introduced by Eugene Schwartz in his book Breakthrough Advertising. So you can go read that. I totally recommend that. It's an amazing book. But nonetheless, so stage 1. This is a new market. Like if you're in stage 1, there's low or no competition. You're the first to market this product. This can also be virtually created by a clever marketer or advertiser like you. So if you're watching this, I believe you're a clever one. And you just create you just tap in an untapped potential of this product. So it can also happen, but more on this later. Like it's not stage 6 because it doesn't exist, but kind of like a stage 6. If you're here, if you're new, if the product is new, be direct and simple and just dramatize inside a copy. So this is an ad for a camel. I'd walk a mile for a camel. It's super simple, super direct. And then below, if you see like just where the message starts, the body copy starts where his boot lays on the table. This message is strictly for smokers who never tasted a camel cigarette. Camel smokers, you know what we mean. You other guys, start walking. So they dramatized inside the copy, but the headline was super simple. Yeah, what I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video, this is for writing headlines. It's not for writing the copy. I mean, you can also, it helps a bit with the copy as well, but it's for writing headlines. If you're at stage 2, it means there's already some competition, right? So what you should be doing right now is you start from the direct and simple approach that worked in stage 1, and you enlarge it and you tap on a successful claim. And you obviously try to outbeat your competition here. So in this case, for lucky cigarettes would be light lucky, and you will never miss sweets that make you fat. So they try to outbid their competition by saying, hey, if you smoke luckies, you will never crave sweets, so you won't get fat. So this is the claim they're making. Or if you want to go into talking about sweets, let's go into fat loss. If at stage 1 you would say lose ugly fat, and anyone would come because there's no such thing as losing fat as dropping pounds. Then at stage 2, you would have to say something like lose up to 10 pounds in 2 weeks or get your money back or something like that, because you have to make your claim now more appealing. You have to enlarge on it, right? You have to beautify your claim. Then you transition, like your market transitions into stage 3. Here at this point, most likely all the prospects have heard all the claims and the extremes. They may have even purchased other products. The problem is they're not completely satisfied with their product, and the desire never fades. Plus, there's always new people coming into the market. So the market, it's not dying. It's just that you have new customers and dissatisfied customers. The thing with dissatisfied customers is they no longer believe previous claims, like 10 pounds in 3 weeks, that's not valid for them anymore. So you need to craft in your copy a new way to make the old promise work, a different process, a new possibility. One mention here, this is not about, this is strictly related to copy. This is not about reinventing your product. So you don't have to go to if you're a copywriter, you do not go to your boss or your client and say, hey, let's reinvent the product because we need a new way. No, it's a new way of presenting the same product, right? So the shift is made from what, like losing pounds, or in the case of cigars was, let me go back, like you will never miss sweets that make you fat, to how it does that. So like the mechanics of doing, the mechanism behind that, right? And you will also use subheadlines to expand, as you can see on the ad here on the left. So toasted cigars, cigarettes have been around for years before stage 3, but no one really paid attention. Like, it wasn't that important. But when stage 3 came about, copywriters tapped into that part of the cigarettes, like the fact that they were toasted. So this was the big claim right now. This is the new way of doing things. So you should come and buy Lucky's because they're toasted. And as you can see, they have subheadlines and they expand on that promise. Why? Because it's very hard to express in a couple of words what toasted is, what it stands for, and why is it better than the old way of doing cigarettes. Again, remember, toasted cigarettes have been around for years before copywriters started tapping into this. It's just the fact that people were not aware of them or didn't care about them. So that's all. Stage 3 usually fades off quickly because we go to stage 4. Everyone starts copying you. So if Lucky did it, then Camel did it, then Marlboro did it, and everyone did it because it was super easy to copy that. So stage 3 in a couple of months becomes obsolete, and the market shifts to stage 4. Everyone copies all the claims, the mechanism, and stage 4 is very similar to stage 2 because it's a stage of elaboration. So think in terms of stage 4 is for stage 3 as stage 2 was for stage 1. Here you take the claims that everyone made for the mechanism and you elaborate on that. You take the same strategies and think of them faster. Think in terms of being faster, safer, or easier. So you go with claims that can prove that this new way is faster, safer, or easier. You just enlarge on the claims of the new way, new mechanism, new promise, and same everything. Again, like same strategies that work for number 2 are similar, work here in stage 4. For example, Camel, they said more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. This goes back to it's toasted. Toasted is like, it's a way of removing chemicals from cigarettes. I don't know if it works or not because I'm not smoking, so I've got no idea, but that's what it is. And here you just expand on that claim. You say more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette, and if you go and read the whole thing, you get the idea that it's about being toasted. That's all. But they just expanded on that. They made it safer, right? If doctors smoke Camels, it must be safe, right? And then we go into the death valley of any market. It's stage 5. It's not as bad as you might think. I've named it like this because the government gets involved. So, I mean, not always, but sometimes. What happens at stage 5? So, obviously, all the claims have been over exaggerated. All the claims prospects know literally everything under the sun. They've heard it, they don't believe it anymore, and they just don't trust your advertising in that type of advertising anymore, right? You can tell them that doctors smoke it, politicians smoke it, no matter. Then probably also the government gets involved. So for example, in the cigarette world, government put out some regulations. You weren't allowed to say certain things, and for a good reason. I mean, comparing cigarettes with doctors, it's kind of like off limits, I would say. And also another interesting thing, desire no longer works. So at this point, you cannot make a person buy simply because they desire that thing. So you shift from you and your product to them, to the customers. I mean, copywriting is always about the customers, but now more than ever, you have to make it about them. You have to think about identification. You're bringing the prospect into your ad, and this is amazing. It's one of the best. It's not one. They have several ads like this. It's the virile man ads that Marlboro put out. I think it was in the 70s, I think so, or 60s. So it showcases on the poster this like strong, masculine, I want to be like that man, right? And it simply states the brand's name, and that's it. That's the entire ad. Now, whoever identifies as that guy over there smoking a Marlboro or wants to be like him, they'll just buy into this brand. This is the power of identification. So at this stage, again, you're no longer looking to make claims. You're no longer looking to exaggerate claims. You're only looking for one thing. Hey, who's our avatar? And let's bring them into our ad and let's make them identify with our product and with our ad. And as a bonus here, it's when you reach stage 5, you can do 2 things. You can do identification, which is totally fine. You should definitely do that. But there's also creating a new market opportunity. So as soon as you reach stage 5, you can try tapping into this market, and it's usually accelerating trends. So back then, it wasn't cool for women to smoke. And that's something that was like, I think like 60s, 70s, something like that. So it wasn't cool for women to smoke. And you couldn't just create an ad around a woman and say, hey, women can smoke. It doesn't work like that, obviously. So this is a very clever ad from Chesterfield. A couple staying on a bench in a park, and she says, blow some my way. There are a lot of variations of this. I urge you to Google blow some my way Chesterfield. You'll see a landscape one, which didn't I couldn't fit that into this presentation. I think that was the first one, and then this one and others came after, and it's like variations of the same ad. And just by like in 4 words, they open up a new market. Like women started smoking, women started buying cigarettes, and this is at stage 5. At stage 5, obviously you can do this, or you could do identification, or you could do both. What happens if you do this? This is a totally new market. You start from stage 1. This is starting from stage 1. Blow some my way. This is stage 1. Then it goes to stage 2, 3, 4, 5 again. And you can just leave it at stage 5. Nowadays, you can even think of, like, obviously these ads were from the 60s, 50s, 40s, 70s. But you can still look around in the cigarette world today, and you'll see that most brands right now are at one of these stages, and most of them actually are at stage 5, and they try to go with identification. So I'm curious to see what market are you in. You can leave a comment down below, and what stage do you think your market is at, and how do you address that? Oh, by the way, one more addition here. Let's say your market is at stage 3. You should always be creating ads at stage 3 at a minimum. You can go at stage 4 or 5 if you want to. It's not necessary, but if you want to, you can also create those type of ads. But the minimum is 3. If your market it's at stage 3 and you create stage 2 ads, you're losing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay guys, I'll see you in another video. In the meanwhile, leave in the comments down below what market are you in. I'm really interested in that, and also what stage your market is at.